only, yeah, like toilet paper is our go-to.
I love getting my hair cut, especially when there's a scalp massage involved.
But she would say, your body is a temple and you need to take care of it.
We have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, where he just ate garbage. How long was that? A year?
Do this. I can't do this without Cassie and the kids enabling me to do this.
I find myself encouraging myself, so I'm like, no, you can do this. Don't give up.
We got lots to say.
I love my husband so much and my son. I had a baby. Her name is Isla.
I want to see the baby. I've definitely had multiple drinks on multiple episodes.
Loosen up.
It's a podcast. We're here to have fun, so enjoy yourself.
Wow, it's February.
Yeah, it took me till today to realize we were in February.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. And
are you still writing 2024 as well?
It might just be because this is the longest week since we came back from vacation.
Mm-hmm,
so I'm just not used to like real world, I guess. Yeah, it's so hard.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I had the easiest week, and I was so grateful because I was like, I can't imagine having had a regular week.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a pretty easy week too, and I would agree with you. It was required. If I had a particularly difficult week, I probably would have
oh yeah,
just
the bullet.
Found a cliff and full send,
Yikes.
Tips fucking down.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Deep.
And plus I got sick this week, so
oh yes,
Cassie won't even kiss me on the lips. There's like no point in living. I don't understand.
It's just, what's the point? Why?
Oh man.
Yeah. No. You mentioned.
Well, first we should hit the giveaway real quick, I think.
Yeah. Top of the
One thing we didn't mention at the end of last episode was it's a 2-book deal. And that's my fault for not bringing it up because I'm just responsible for most bad things happening. This is actually Jenna's copy of the second book I have here. Probably never going to return it because if she really wants it, go to Value Village. They're all of his books are here at Value Village. Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. Now, I want to put this out there.
Yeah.
It sounds woo-woo.
Yeah.
It sounds 100%. Fucking crazy, but it's just philosophy. That's all it is.
It's
just philosophy. And I think it's important philosophy.
Sorry, Colin, can you hold that thought just for one moment?
Sorry, I thought you were going to ask me to hold the book again. I went to read for it.
If there are noises in the background, it's because I poorly timed my wash and my dry load. It was supposed to be done by now, 10 minutes ago.
Sakes, Jenna.
It's not done. Sorry. So if there's weird background noise, guys, it's me. It's my bad. I apologize. Okay,
that's so funny.
It's philosophy, the book.
And I think more people should read books like that. I feel like I keep seeing something in my eyelash in the camera. It's probably not true though.
It's a ghost.
Because I think we are often just too sucked into the day-to-day and the monotony of, like we just discussed, just the boringness of living. It can be tedious at times, and because of it, it's hard for you to take a second and just remove yourself and kind of look at everything from 30,000 feet and realize, okay, this is all just kind of, I'll say pretend for lack of a better word.
It's all make believe. No, we made all of this up. We started somewhere and then it grew and it evolved and now it's here.
And I know things feel pretty real when groceries are ridiculously expensive and gas costs so much money. But I mean, ultimately we can let these things beat us down.
Yeah.
and I realize this is very hypocritical, coming on the heels of my joke about Cassie not kissing me on the lips, but here we are. Anyway, so
Can't let
it's
that
Leroy.
stuff bring you down, bro.
Yeah, Leroy's book Eternus and Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. So Jenna posted it all on Instagram. Do the things she said.
to repost,
Please, yeah, I don't even care if you want the books. Just support us. We need the activity online.
We need so many activities. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not doing this for free for nothing. So we gotta
Yeah.
we gotta monetize this, and it all starts with audience participation. So I just wanted to hit up the giveaway real quick for our 100th episode. We're now on 101. Woohoo! I look like 101.
You too. Screen grab.
What a stupid joke. Okay.
That was very Michael Scott of you.
Yeah, I've not been sleeping well lately, and last night I actually found myself so awake. I just went and sat on the couch for a bit and watched a couple episodes of The Office.
Yeah.
At like 3 a.m. because I just couldn't sleep.
Sweet.
Anyway, maybe I'm just channeling the Michael Scott I've been watching. So
yeah, it's like in your subconscious now.
If that's the case, I do apologize, because he's an acquired taste for sure.
For most, yeah, definitely.
So I have watched a documentary.
Dun, dun, dun. What is it?
And it's on Netflix, and I think it's really interesting, but it's also super duper. It's weird and it's inaccessible. Not everyone can do what this guy's doing. It's called Don't Die. I can't remember the subline.
Okay.
The Man Who Wants to Live Forever. So this dude, Bryan Johnson.
Oh, yes.
Bryan Johnson, a wealthy entrepreneur, puts his body and fortune on the line to defy aging and extend his life beyond all known limits. So as an example, just to kind of frame this for people.
Into this. Okay.
If everyone ages at a rate, if regular aging or the average aging of the population is a factor of 1, he's aging at a factor of 0.63.
Holy moly, Bryan. What's he doing?
He is slowing down his aging process. But this guy has, a walk-in pantry full of supplements.
Wow. Okay.
He must take, I think he takes over 100 pills a day, different times of the day kind of thing. But
okay,
all his different supplements, all his different, his essential vitamin, like it's way beyond BCAAs and fucking creatine. You know what I mean? He does take those, but my God, it's an exhaustive list.
I was gonna say, so is he spending his whole life trying to reverse his aging process, and by proxy, I don't say wasting his life, but like not enjoying his life as much as he should?
What a great question. And I'm really glad that's the first thing that came up, because I think it's probably the first thing that most people zone in on is the dedication that this takes. He goes to bed at 8:30 every day.
I wish.
He wakes up at 4:30 every day.
Okay.
A few things.
What's the quick math on that? Is that 8 hours?
It's around 8 hours, yeah.
Okay.
8 to 12 is 4, and 12 to 4 is 4, so yeah. So he's vegan by choice, not by necessity. He often recommends people adding meat and other animal foods to his diet. This diet has worked for him, along with the routine, blah, 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 blah. He uses other therapies apart from this protocol. He does, he's got this massive UV light that he uses in the morning. He doesn't wake up to an alarm. Is that to get, like,
his daylight?
Yeah, dosage? Light exposure using a UV light at 10,000 lux.
Okay.
For a few minutes to set a circadian rhythm. So I'll say the normal person approach to this would be stepping outside.
Yeah, sure.
And just facing the sun for a few minutes. But he wakes up at 4:30, and honestly, he is insanely pale.
Okay.
So I don't think he wants to expose himself to any unnecessary UV light in order to reduce those aging factors.
Yes, because we all know UV is damaging in high doses.
Yeah, he does oral care, skin care. He measures his weight, muscle, bone, BMI. 5 minutes of blue light therapy, meditation. He checks the air quality. He does eye care. He drinks this. He calls it Green Giant. It's 8 ounces of water. Spermidine, which I don't know what that is. Amino complex, creatine, collagen peptides, cocoflavanols. Anyway, and he takes about 40 pills in the morning. I mean, the list is wild. Everything from ashwagandha to taurine and zinc.
Oh, so spermidine is it's a anti-aging supplement specifically.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. He is working with he obviously consults with experts in the field of anti-aging and longevity.
Gotcha.
One guy in particular is a doctor in this field, and they've they've done their meta-analysis. So it's a lot of kind of trial and error. He posts all this stuff on social media, so he'll say, I'm trying this protocol now, I'm adjusting this protocol, or I'm canceling this protocol, it's not working, kind of thing.
So is he sort of being the tester of these theories and things like that, or
he is. And
okay.
It's interesting because the documentary spends a bit of time discussing how unscientific it is. And I think it's really interesting because from his point of view, it's incredibly scientific. They've got the research, they've got the backup. He's got medical grade equipment in his house. He's checking his markers multiple times a day, multiple times a week.
Yeah.
So it is incredibly
more than
scientific.
Most people do, like, probably in their lifetime, it sounds like.
Well, I mean, absolutely. The problem from the scientific community point of view is that it's not an appropriate sample size to get any information from.
Okay.
So the general public can't use his protocol and say it will work this way. And he acknowledges that, and he's okay with that. But what he's demonstrating is, in a world where, and this will get back to your previous point about like enjoying life kind of thing. This takes up so much of his time, but he discusses how previous to this part of his life, and I mean, he is cut. He's got like insanely low body fat. He was an overweight guy. He was in the Mormon church. He was married, 4 kids. He's now divorced. Only one of his children talks to him, and he's got an incredible relationship with that child.
Okay.
But he was suicidal. He was unhappy. He was starting businesses. He's a tech entrepreneur, so this is how he finances everything. And of course, now he's also, affiliate marketing, and like he's got his own lines of product and stuff like that. So he's self-funded, which is incredible. But he when you watch the documentary and you hear him say how happy he is, it feels legit. It feels real. It feels like he's truly grateful with where he's at in life and all the effort he's put into his own well-being. And I think that's pretty impressive. And a lot of the things, I should have taken notes while I was watching it. I was thinking about it while I was watching it, but it was on my sick day, so I didn't want to get up. Anyway, there are some really interesting themes, and one of those themes is, that balance of enjoying life versus, working so hard to extend your life kind of thing.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that are obsessed with a lot of different things. You got your motorheads and your train enthusiasts and all this kind of stuff. And I think people kind of just deep dive into whatever works for them. And I would argue that most people certainly aren't getting the most out of their own lives.
Yeah.
We spend too much time watching TV. We spend too much time on our phones. We spend not enough time, developing and maintaining real life connections with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this isn't a great example for him because I'm not sure what his relationships are like. I'm not sure how difficult it is to be a part of his life when his life is so regimented.
Totally. Yeah.
That said, his son moved with him to California, moved in with him in California for his senior year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the kid eats the same diet that his dad does. He follows a lot of the similar protocols. I don't think he takes nearly as many supplements and stuff,
Yeah,
but I mean, the kid was
imagine.
in great shape too. Like
Yeah.
little things that you wouldn't think, but like, you know, a 17-year-old with clear skin, you know what I
Honestly,
mean?
yeah. Yeah,
Like little
that's
things like that where you realize, you know, I'm
they're
not drinking enough.
so hormonal. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that you know what I mean? So a couple themes that came out of this, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned there it was his purpose and passion in life. So
Okay.
awakening to your life's purpose, Eckhart Tolle. Wow.
Ha.
What a beautiful synchronicity there.
There you
Um,
go.
this is his purpose, and he just wants to kind of, you know, there's people that, you know, do extreme sports for Red Bull and shit like that. No one really questions them, but it
Yeah.
takes
Yeah.
that same amount of dedication to be that good at those things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is just wild because it's he posts so much, you know, pictures of the inside of all his body parts
Oh
on
boy.
the internet and stuff, so it's very it's very out there from that point of view.
Yeah,
um
like graphically.
there was one section of the documentary where they made fun of the and him included. He's taking all this in stride. He's got a great sense of humor, and I think he's just
Nice.
so, you know, good with who he is that he's okay with all the negativity that comes along with it, kind of thing. But there
I
was
was
a
gonna ask, like, is he also like so personally invested in this journey and like discovery and curious about where it's going and how it's going and things like that, that he like so genuinely into it?
yeah, and
Is
I
that what it
mean,
is?
I think so, and I think just by virtue of the fact too that he has the means to do it, I think it's
Gotcha.
difficult
Yeah.
for a lot of people to get to where he's at. I mean, he's doing crazy protocols. He'll trade blood plasma with his son.
Whoa.
So, you know, like way back, the QAnon thing, everyone was talking about blood boys and shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, they read a study and it said something to the effect of, you know, biological relations. You switch the plasma, there's whatever health benefits. And
Yeah.
so he was doing that with his son, and now he's doing it with his father. So he'll give his son his blood plasma and he'll
Mm-hmm.
take his son's blood plasma. And
Wow.
he's now also doing gene therapy.
Okay, I've heard of this, but I'm really so unfamiliar. Did they explain what that is?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So they talk about how you can go in and alter your gene expressions.
Yes.
The problem in the past was that it would be a permanent
Like,
thing.
yeah.
So if it worked, great. If it didn't work, you might be in trouble.
Yeah.
He went to Honduras multiple times for this particular gene therapy where they have a kill switch. So
Okay.
if things aren't working, I don't understand. I was getting mentally saturated by this point in the
Yeah.
documentary.
Yeah. What I
Um,
know about like your DNA is constantly repeating itself over and over and over. And it's the small faults and errors because, and I think it's an ode to nothing's perfect in life, is
okay,
that,
yeah,
you know, every 200 millionth repetition of our DNA repeating itself, like every skin cell we have has our DNA, right? Like it's repeating in such microscopic uh, pieces that like there can be errors or whatever. And um, I'm assuming that what happens in this gene expression is that they're tweaking it ever so slightly. And so when the gene starts to repeat itself, if it's a oopsie daisy, you don't want that repeating itself, and then maybe the repetition over time gets worse, possibly. But you know, best case scenario, it repeats an error, more or less.
yeah,
And so having the ability to stop that in its tracks, and then hopefully be able maybe to revert back to what it was doing, so that you then don't have like faults in your in that genetic expression or whatever. But I think it's also the same reason people are very confused about mRNA type vaccines.
Yeah.
Because that affects your gene expression, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I would have to look it up. But my understanding is that it will change how your body reacts to something.
Yes.
More or less.
Yeah.
And I don't know if all vaccines behave this way, but my understanding is that mRNA type vaccines are like unique in this fashion. If anybody with any knowledge of this whatsoever could chime in and correct me if I'm wrong, that would be wonderful, because I would totally double, triple fact check everything I've just said, because I genuinely am not totally sure, but that's my understanding of it. So obviously he's gone and had this procedure. Would you call it a procedure?
Yeah,
done?
they just. I'm assuming there's some legwork. They probably, I'm hoping,
yeah,
take a sample of
so
his
you just
DNA.
like show up and they're like, "Woo, let's start picking at your genes, buddy."
Because I did one of those DNA things where they give you the report on
right, yes,
what gene expressions you have or don't have, and
yes.
I think this would be an element of gene therapy where you can, because for example, it might say, hey, this particular gene, you're in a high risk zone because of the way this gene is or is not expressing. So in order to balance this out, your lifestyle should correct it by doing this or excluding this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would imagine they take a DNA sample from him and then fucking do their computer whiz shit and fucking plug in the USB key and do the update on Bryan Johnson. And anyway.
And now he's aging at 0.63 times.
So I went to his, I just went to his website.
Yes.
And this is as of August 2024.
Okay.
So these are some of his biomarkers. Okay. So now his speed of aging is 0.57%.
Whoa, that's almost half.
He goes, he's in the top 1% of 20-year-olds. And he's a 47-year-old or something like that. So everything he's doing is working for his body. He says, my birthday now happens every 21 months. You can slow your speed of aging. And in the documentary, he discusses how he gets October, November, and December for free because he's slowing down so much.
I like the way that he's looking at that.
Well, and it's I think it's important too, because we can say, yeah, 0.57, but what does that actually mean? What's that? So he talks about how what he's doing is slowing down. And you know, one of the things that came out in the documentary too was what he's doing is not necessarily just an additive protocol. It's not just adding practices and routines and supplements. It could also be taking things away. So no smoking, no alcohol, no fast food. All of these things automatically add 5 years, 7 years, 11 years, whatever it is, to your overall lifespan. And so many people can already do this by just changing certain lifestyle habits. But I want to talk about some more of these biomarkers because some of them are really funny.
Okay.
He is in the top 1% of sleep. His sleep score is 100%. His value is 100%.
I was gonna say his sleep score must be impeccable.
His his VO2 max, he's in the top 1.5% of 18-year-olds. What
is VO2 max?
VO2 max is a power law marker of aerobic fitness and cardiovascular health.
Okay.
So his heart is in the top 1.5%.
Of an 18-year-old.
Yeah. It's wild. His resting heart rate is 42 beats per minute. Top 1%, professional athlete level.
I feel like that's so low. Like I look at mine regularly, it's like low 60s, but I think it's supposed to be way, way below that. Like
His nighttime erections is 3 hours and 8 minutes. Top 1% of 18-year-olds.
how are they measuring this? I need to know.
I
Is he
don't
like
know.
setting the timer? He's like, okay, starting.
That's a fucking great question. And he also the article that I mentioned when I first pulled this up is Bryan Johnson wants you to have better boners. So I'm going to skim through that later and
Nice. Yeah.
get the Cole's notes on that.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you exactly which supplements and which things to avoid. Yeah.
I mean, so much of these biomarkers are top 1%, top 5%, or in some cases lowest 1% when these things are not required.
Have a negative. Yeah.
I mean, it's insanity. His cholesterol, he's in the top 5% of men aged 45 to 49.
Okay.
For both LDL. Oh no, I don't see HDL. Anyway, bad cholesterol. He's got great cholesterol scores.
Yeah.
High density. You want high density. You don't want low density. Low density is bad. High density is good.
And that was a major misconception for ages, is that cholesterol was being packaged as an entire product, but it was actually a product of two parts. And some of it was good and some of it was not so good. So, yeah.
Whoa, so he's got some things for age equivalents. His body fat, his age equivalent is 16. His DHEA, his age equivalent is 25. A lot of these are just like slightly younger. Like his free testosterone index is age equivalent is 41. But he's closer to 50, which is great. Testosterone, his age equivalent is 33. We mentioned his VO2 max, his age equivalent is 18. I mean, these things are incredible. Results. Wow. His results that are younger than his chronological age, the list is insane. It's probably 100 things.
Wow.
Like everything. And I mean, some of these are weird, like facial left brown, facial right brown, facial left wrinkles, facial right wrinkles. I don't know what that means.
Okay. So like different, I don't want to say age spots, but like, I think it would be like the structure, skin, and definition, I guess, of those parts of your face. Probably have tells of aging, and like, I guess have an average score based on, I don't know what that would be based on, just like polling, having people go to dermatologists and study.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't understand it as much.
Yeah.
Actually, to be quite honest, I don't understand any of this.
Fair. I feel like those kinds of things, not topical's not the right word, but like they're like how do you measure somebody's left brow and say they're either their age or not? Like obviously there's metrics for it, but it seems like a weird thing to measure to me.
Yeah, he's
to define his age.
He's measuring so many weird things like hair health.
Yeah. Okay.
Like he's got a lot.
Isn't always necessarily age associated. Yeah.
Well, and this is where I think it's interesting too, because like genetics impact that.
But I guess that's his whole story, is like my genetics are primo.
And it's like, I guess he's just trying to do as much, everything that he can do that would assist, he's doing.
Yeah.
He's got gray hair reversal, topical hair formulation. His gray and white markers are measuring age 41. And whatever Quant Hamilton Norwood means is measuring age 26. Let's see what that is.
Quant Hamilton Norton.
Stages of male pattern baldness. So
Okay.
I mean, his skin health markers: spots age 10, wrinkles age 10, texture age 14, pores age 50, UV spots, age 62. Interesting. Brown spots, age 11. Red areas, age 70. I don't know what that means.
Red spots. Okay. Maybe there's some things that are a bit unavoidable.
And I think that's what he's doing too. He's not reversing aging. He's just trying to slow it down as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes are age 38. His ears aren't doing so good. Right ear normal frequency, age 61. Oral health, sleep health. Okay, let's see if we can talk. Sleep is the new coffee.
Oh boy.
In August 2023, he completed 6 months of achieving a 100% sleep score performance via Whoop.
Nice. Okay.
And if people haven't heard of the Whoop band, it's just it's one of those things you wear on your wrist. It doesn't tell time or anything like that, but it tracks so many of your fucking, I don't know.
It tracks
bio
your
things.
activity. Yeah. Biomarkers, if you will. Yeah. It tracks like your sleep. It tracks your activity levels. It tracks like heart rate, but like to a better degree than I think a lot of the other devices do. Yeah, it's like honed in on health, more or less. Yeah.
So he says he's hungry quite often. This is diet and supplements.
Okay.
22,250 calories daily, pretty normal. So he's
That's like an average adult male.
Yeah. Approximately 10% caloric restriction. So he is in a deficit.
Because I think you can go up to 2,500 as an adult male, I believe is the recommendation. But so he's like 300 calories. Would 300 calories be 10%? Is that
250 below that, whatever. Again, vegan. He consumes 70 plus pounds of vegetables monthly.
Wow.
This guy's farts must be fucking atrocious.
He's regular AF. But also I'm wondering, what's his protein consumption like? Because I feel like that's the thing that makes you feel hungry, I think, is if you're not getting your protein. Right?
Yeah, I want to see if I could find that.
So he's like eating 6 million pounds of tofu or something. Does he eat fish? No, he's vegan.
Oh, he gets 120. He gets 110% of his protein targets.
110. Okay.
So
what is
it's
his protein target? Tell me.
122 grams of protein a day.
Oh, that's
202 grams of carbs and 79 grams of fat.
Okay.
I'm not sure I see where.
He's eating a boatload of chickpeas, lentils, and tofu, my guy.
So, his routine, his Green Giant supplement plus 54 pills in the morning.
Okay.
I don't know how he does it because, like, if I got to take 6 pills in a day for supplements, I get so full just drinking the water trying to swallow these bad boys.
Yeah. But maybe this is his whole life. So it's just become
That's it. That's all
thing.
he does, yeah.
It seems so foreign to someone else, but to him it probably just seems so habitual and just like he's probably got it down to like a normal everyday routine. He's like, gotta take my pills, gotta go do this.
Pills.
Yeah.
Oh man.
If there were different kinds of pills, not supplements, that would be frowned upon. So.
Yeah, he's definitely selling stuff too, which is a huge detractor for a lot of the people. A lot of
people he's entertaining with the ideas of what he's doing, you mean?
Well, so just imagine the timeline of this. You know, he starts doing this stuff. Yes. He starts posting it on social media. He starts seeing some success. He's gaining followers, blah, 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 blah. And now he starts selling stuff. Or the things that he links on his website are Amazon products. So he's maybe getting a kickback or whatever. So people are going, and the other shoe drops. He's a snake oil salesman. He's just doing this to make a buck kind of thing. I mean, I think it's a pretty narrow-minded view for people to say that. And there is an incredible amount of negativity directed at him.
Okay, I bet.
People are saying hate. Like he's... Yeah, the people hate when you're and that's it. Like these, I truly believe that the most outrageous of these negative people are probably the ones that are just upset that he's having success in areas where they're not.
Jealousy, yeah.
I
would love to tie into a comment I read online that relates to this jealousy thing.
Okay.
I'm part of a group that it's like a support group for, I hate to say support group. It's just like a group of all of us doing our yoga teacher training online with this particular provider. And a woman came on and asked the question, I've been vegetarian for however many years. Is it not more in line with being a yogi to be vegetarian? And if people are teaching yoga and are not, does that make them less than? And that's not her exact words, but it was more or less the question that she was posing. And first comment, by asking the question, you are being judgmental. And then a whole like 27 replies thread appears afterwards, and it's just like cattiness and fighting. And I'm thinking to myself, everyone in here wants to be like I don't say open-minded, but like we're all studying the same principles of like hurt no one, like surrender yourself to spirituality, like improve your mind, body, spirit, like all these wonderful things. And I was like, you folks are out here shitting on each other because one person asked about being a vegetarian and not everyone is. And it's like, okay, so what? I don't know. I was like, I just don't understand the argument. And I was like, it's either my naivete or maybe a lack of like give a damn for like people's opinions on the internet. I don't know. But
and I feel like
why did that person jump down the other person's throat immediately? And I was like, if it's not jealousy, it's like resentment that maybe they're not doing that, or they feel judged and they're taking it out on this person online. Anyways, so same thing with Bryan, I'm sure. Like, he's probably getting those same kind of like hateful comments from people that are, I don't even know how to explain it, but just like not in support of what's good for him, I think is what it boils down to at the end of the day. Like,
and I think too, I believe that people that really get involved in those discussions are, I think they're just, it's an element of grandstanding. Look at how much I know. I'm aware of these things, whatever. Yes. But also, I mean, a question like that is really philosophical too.
Yeah. And because I think that's the way it was being asked, but it's not the way it got.
The only way you can have it, the only way, the world according to Colin right now is if you're if you're going to have a conversation like that, you need to set the groundwork for what you're actually discussing, which is the consciousness of all life on Earth.
Yes.
Because if you're a true yogi in the sense that, you're vegan, you're practicing yoga from a spiritual point of view, you probably acknowledge that even the broccoli that you're eating was once alive. And was once, communicating and aware and conscious in its own way.
Some vegans, like, there's a question in veganism, do you eat honey or not? And that's one of the big things, is because it comes directly from an animal, not an insect, it's not an animal, but how is it different than milk or goat's milk or something like that, right? That you're taking something that this creature has produced for your own benefit, more or less. And that question was posed as well. They're like, well, plants were alive, and And then somebody replies, oh, but plants don't have feelings. And do we know if animals have feelings? Then there was like this whole debate. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you guys, I think like some people just like to hear themselves talk, you know? I think it becomes that a little bit, that debacle. So maybe also, Bryan, he's receiving this, people just wanting to hear themselves talk. And it's about the shit he's into.
It would be much more interesting, I think, if people were just more curious. And this is really interesting stuff. Like I clicked Bryan Johnson wants you to have better boners. I'm trying to find in this article where he tells me how to have a better boner.
Okay.
But what he's actually saying,
find it, let us know.
it turns out it's clickbait.
Okay. Damn it.
Because what he's saying is there are many biomarkers to tell you where you're at health wise.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so there's what's it say?
So you need to get on board with all of them.
He's saying 18-year-olds, you should be having around 2.5 to 3 hours of boners per night. When you're 70, that lowers to 50 minutes per night. It declines with age, as most things do. There's wow. Boners are one of the most important indicators of your health. If a man is not having boners, he's 70% more likely to die prematurely.
Whoa, that is information that should be broadcast.
Yeah. This episode is going to be called
internationally.
Get
Hard. Oh, man. And it's just clickbait because we actually have no answers.
It's so fucking clickbait. But, he's talking about if, let's say you're a guy and you're not doing too well on that front, sleep better, hydrate more, get better nutrients in your body, exercise, get your cardiovascular up. All of these things will contribute, and you'll see the results of your efforts in these biomarkers. I was really curious I'm going to Google this, and I hate that it's going to be in my fucking Google history, but how to measure nighttime erections.
You could put that. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Oh, man. Devices used.
Devices?
This is not good.
Whoa, we just uncovered something that I never thought that I would know anything about. Here we are. Okay.
A device is used to measure the number of erections, their durations, and the rigidity and girth of the penis.
Rigidity and... Wow. This is intense. Okay. Are there images of the device?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull this up here.
I was gonna say, you're gonna need to share your screen over here. This is becoming insane.
We've gone off the deep end here. I need to know what this device is.
Well, if the episode's gonna be called Get Hard, we really have to get all the information that we can.
What device is used?
I need to know the price. Where this is being produced. Like, can you imagine?
Scan. That's a stupid fucking name.
Scan. They were like, we need to come up with something that's not offensive.
Scan, computerized device that measures. Oh my god! It's like, it looks like a multimeter with 2 elastic bands on it.
Sweet. It's like a finger. Like if you sprain your finger or whatever, a brace? No, there's a word for it.
Yeah, splint. It's like kind of, but not really. Can you see this?
Oh my god, that looks...
I feel like this is...
Okay, so like the lead on the rubber bands is so short. Like that thing's just hanging out.
Well, I feel like, and this scanner is just like stuck in your ass crack. It has 2 loops. So for people who won't be watching this, which is probably most people, our YouTube videos get no hits.
I feel
has 2 loops,
YouTube
one placed around the base.
Yeah,
that's true. Oh, the recording device can be strapped around the waist or the thigh.
Okay.
These loops tighten every 15 or 30 seconds. I feel like that would be like the slowest hand job in the world.
So it's like measuring, it's like when they measure your, oh my gosh, why can't I think of that? They put the band on your arm at the doctor's and it
Yeah, your heart
Your
rate,
heart
like
rate.
your
There you go.
blood
Thank you. Oh
pressure,
my God.
blood pressure monitor. Yeah,
Blood
yeah.
pressure.
It's
Thank you.
a blood pressure monitor for your dick.
Sweet.
Um,
I literally had no concept of the existence of this at all ever until just now.
what's
I'm
interesting about it too is
I'm shooketh. Yeah.
I am shook. It's giving. I don't. It goes to show you
Mm-hmm.
that everything can be measured.
Mm-hmm. They
I don't.
figured out a way.
There's
Boy, oh boy.
there's a whole subreddit on this called Blueprint. His thing is called the Blueprint.
Sorry, Bryan Johnson.
Bryan Johnson, yeah. And
Okay.
you can go to his Blueprint protocol website. And it's
Nice.
got, meal prep, supplements, and tools you can use.
Oh, dude,
We
this
missed it.
is tools. It's right there in the
Oh,
tools.
only 149 euros for Atom Scan,
What
which
is
is the
Atom Scan?
tool that he uses to measure his banners.
His nightly.
Just fucking pitching a tent.
What do they call it? Nightly. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, so like you're on his website and it says pillow. I click pillow, it brings me to an Amazon link.
Yes. Okay.
So I feel like that's so. Yeah, there's a lot of negativity going his way. A lot of people spouting their opinions. I don't know if it's jealousy. It is. I think there's an
He'll be
element
laughing because he'll live for another 85 years, and all of us will be dead, and he'll just be laughing.
He's got pill tins. Oh, I gotta get some of these pill tins.
Are they like designer?
They don't look designer.
Oh.
One of the things he talks about is how like obesity is a big problem in North America.
Massive.
And it's wild. I'm getting so distracted here. I found this page on his website that's got the numbers for cost wise, so I'll get into that. He says, most of this stuff is free. You don't need to be doing all the supplements and everything like that. Most of it's lifestyle.
Okay.
He talks about obesity in North America and our other addictions. We're addicted to food, drugs, porn, media. He's like, it's wild that when you ask that question, is it weird? How does he give up his, is he enjoying living his life when he's so focused on all these things? Mm-hmm. But what we view as the corollary is all those other things: going out to dinner with friends, eating food that's not good for you, spending 6 hours a night watching TV or being on your cell phone, drowning your sorrows in food or other, porn, drugs, whatever addictions, chasing dopamine or whatever it is. So I think his point of view is correct. His approach is
it's extreme. I think
his point of view is not extreme. His
application of
his application's extreme, and he's okay with it. I would argue that this is just another addiction.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know when addictions are bad or whatnot, but
yeah. I mean, it's been said many times that people get addicted to going to the gym and working out and following their fitness schedules and et cetera, and it's not a detriment, so it's not viewed negatively, right? Whereas obviously drugs consumption of any kind that's done in excess is not good, and like oh my god, you could anything, like people have like sex addictions and stuff like that, so I feel like it could go in any direction.
Addictions to eating their own hair or paper, it's crazy.
I thought those would be considered like compulsions.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe I don't know the differences.
Maybe it's like a subsect of addiction.
Well, I mean, maybe a compulsion is like you whether you want to do it or not.
Okay.
versus the addiction. It's like, I gotta get me some fucking hair stat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can I go through these numbers real quick?
Go for it.
So his monthly cost to do what he does is $870. That's US. So his food costs are $23 a day. And in brackets, it says vary by geography, which makes sense. His veggies are $7. His pudding and blueberry mix is $4. His third meal is $7, and other is $5. Like his extra virgin olive oil, cocoa, avocado, and Brazil nuts, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
His supplement costs are equal to $6 a day.
Sorry, I'm curious about the source of everything that he consumes. Like, is he just like showing up to the grocery store and buying these things, or is he having like them ordered in from a special like organic website? Like, I'm sure he's getting the most top quality food items that you can get. Would you say, do they talk about that at all, or?
I honestly, I can't remember. I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure he mostly eats the same thing every day too.
Yeah.
Not just the caloric intake, but the same recipes.
Yes. Okay.
I think he would probably try to get the best quality that was available that produced results. I don't think he's spending money to get quality that's not providing a return.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
so if there's no added benefit, there's no point in him making that change.
And as far as that goes, supplement wise, there's different grades, there's different qualities of supplements you can take. But I've seen you see his collection a few times, and I mean, there's brands that we've all seen before, so it's not like he's getting pharmaceutical grade stuff.
Lunch. Yeah.
He says medical grade quite often, but I think I don't know. I would argue that probably most companies these days that are doing well sales wise are probably offering high quality products.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
He's got this one called kitchen readiness cost. So high speed blender, food scale, and storage / transport. So he only uses glass or stainless steel.
So I have heard that this is much better.
The scourge of microplastics.
Yeah.
And he tests every 3 to 6 months. So for blood panels, it's like $350.
Okay.
And then he breaks down his calories. His pudding is 430 calories. His pea protein is 260 calories. Collagen, super veggie, his third meal. Anyway. And his supplements list is insanity.
Yeah, it sounds like that's the most epic part. This is playing or like oding to, is that a word? Oding? Anyway.
Homage
to I think it was considered a documentary that I watched, and it was about and it's not Marie Kondo. I have seen that one as well. But this one was about like reducing your waste and how we could all be doing more to reduce the amount of waste that we produce. And this one woman had decreased her waste so much that everything she used was reusable, minus she had like a 250 ml mason jar with everything that she couldn't, like either organic waste, recycle, reuse in some sort of way. Like it was like a few little items that she had just jammed. She's like, I don't know how to dispose of this. I'll just put them in here. So like it blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, how do you get so dialed in to this lifestyle? Because it is a full lifestyle change. Like,
yeah,
she would take her own containers to the store so that she could, and she was going to these types of grocery stores where you do like bring your own containers. Like Bulk Barn is transitioning into this as well. Yeah. So like it's up to you to bring the container, and then you weigh it, take the weight out, add your stuff, And then that's how much your whatever costs, because it's like based on. Anyway, it sounds very adjacent to what you're describing
Mm-hmm.
Bryan doing. It's like he's got it so dialed in on so many levels. Like, and it's so clear. Like, their path is so clear. They're so into it. They're so invested. They've made the change and they're sticking with it. And it's, to me, that's admirable, because it's hard for someone to make a lifestyle change and actually live it and stick with it permanently. Especially in a world, if he's getting so much hate online, that's not the norm,
Oh,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
We and I mean, going back to Eckhart Tolle too, we get so sucked in to the way we're told to live our lives, which is
Yes.
just consumption, consumption, consumption. So these people,
Capitalism.
like, even when you're trying to eliminate the needless waste, it means that there's a lot of shit you can't do. You can't just go to the store and pick something up. It's got to be planned. Like
Everything's intentional.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know how long it would take to make that transition. And I was wondering, what questions I'd ask him about this. I do
Given the
want to point out
chance.
he acknowledges the value of social connections and the importance of that in living. So I feel like up until that point, you kind of get this isolated impression of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because he's so pale, people call him a vampire, and that doesn't help either.
Oh,
But
great.
now he does these like meetups, these don't die meetups where they'll go for a hike or whatever, and then they do them all in their own little areas at like a climbing gym or something like that. So it is an element of community that
Yes.
is helping people live better lives. So as much as there's negativity, I think he's also, as much negativity as is being drawn from what he's doing, I think there's enough positivity out there as well to kind of offset that. But
Yeah.
one of the questions I would ask him is, what did that transition look like after you made the decision to go this route? Was it just a decision and then you started the transition, or did you kind of unconsciously begin making the change to this sort of lifestyle and then realize what you're doing, carry on? And I think it was easier for him from one point of view. He was a Mormon and he had a falling out with the church, and so he was cut off from his family, and he got a divorce and everything too. So he was cut off from his family, and a lot of his friends and stuff like that. So I think when we think of making these changes, we wonder what the social cost would be.
Okay.
Whether it's lifestyle changes for health reasons, economic, or social responsibility, maybe is this waste kind of thing. You have to set pretty rigid boundaries in order to accomplish these things, and that means that you can't do certain things with certain people, and maybe those individuals no longer want to be a part of your life, or they do but they're not supportive. Maybe they're and because of that you want to spend less time with them. This is probably an unfair thing to say, because you can't learn about a guy in 90 minutes, but I think the silver lining from all of that might have been, I now have an opportunity to rebuild who I am, and it will cost me nothing but doing it.
Yes. Yeah, he didn't have to cut ties with people. He didn't have to do all this stuff. Like, I don't want to say took advantage. That's a terrible way of phrasing it. But like, he saw the situation he was in and was able to make steps towards bettering himself, and then hopefully ultimately his life in the long run. And yeah, I guess at some point it becomes a question of like, is it too much? Is it still good for him? Is it right? Like, is the anti-aging, is it possible to go too far with it? Like, I feel like that would be my question. Is it possible to go too far with it? Or is it just everything he's doing ultimately is good.
And I think that goes back to what you were saying about, the vegan thing. It's all a matter of perspective, and it's all how you view the world. And,
Right.
One thing that I know is that we know scientifically that reality is non-local.
Yeah.
So everything that you see and is around you right now is technically not there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is all made up in our brains. It's all a hologram. But we forget how crazy that is, and we get sucked in to fucking deadlines and meetings and these social issues about whether or not trying to live as long as possible, it could be a bad thing.
Right.
I think it's a great question, and it really is just a matter of perspective. What do you want to get out of your life, and what are you willing to do to get that?
Yeah.
I will add, he's repaired his relationship. Well, repaired his. I don't want to say, because it makes it sound like he destroyed it.
Okay.
Religion could be a very interesting thing when it comes to relationships, but he's got a relationship back with his parents, which is really good.
Wow. Okay.
And one of his 4 children, which he is. I mean, I've never seen a father-son relationship like they have. It's quite interesting, but it seems insanely healthy, almost off-puttingly healthy. You know what I mean?
Very genuine.
Well, yeah, this kid is almost if everything that we're being shown is accurate and true, and they're not just saying this for the camera kind of thing. They understand each other quite well, and so the son has got a great support system in his father, because he doesn't have to explain things in as much detail to be understood. So there's a little less frustration and confusion, I suppose.
Yeah.
The one
Which
thing
I think
that
every teen struggles with is feeling heard, understood,
seen. Yeah.
The
interesting thing about this, the real clincher for this is, I think the number he uses is 120. I think that's like the theoretical limit of how old the human could be. And I think so he's trying to see if he can get there, and if you can surpass that. I don't know if I can do the math to see if he's like, what's his projected death
as
age?
he's right, because if it continues to decrease, do you think he can get below half his aging?
He's close. He's at 0.57.
Yeah, do you think you can get below half? Can you get to 0.4 something? Can you get lower? Can you get to a quarter aging? If he continues to do this, will it forever decrease? What is there? I feel like there's a floor point at some age. Yeah,
because you couldn't not age, and you couldn't reverse age, I don't think.
Right.
He does talk about AI and stuff like that, and I don't want to talk about that because I don't understand what the relationship is with all this.
Okay.
But what's really interesting is he's putting all this effort into it, and a lot of people made the same connection that I think I made right away. It's really cool that you're trying all this, but you get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. There's there's metrics that are variable in all of this, and that's one of them. Accidents.
you can't control that. And I think the really powerful takeaway from that is just because something bad could happen doesn't mean you shouldn't try to do something good.
Okay. And
I think, we can apply that to a lot of things. What if, you don't like your work arrangement? I don't want to leave. What if I don't get another job or whatever? But what if leaving is what's best for you? Relationships. We very often confuse what love is and what it looks like. And that usually is a part of how you were raised. So your perception is already skewed, and, it seems like a bad thing, but to do that leads to, don't let a bad thing stop you from doing good things. Yeah. You might have to do some bad. Sometimes Marcus Aurelius says this all the time. The obstacle is the way. You got to go through it sometimes. You can't always just go around.
Yes. So. And I heard this recently, and it was being applied to parenting, but I think to add to what you're saying, I think it applies as well. Deal with it now or deal with it later. And I think life is like that. You can, I would say, deal with your problems now, more or less, but like in the world of relationships, if you will, or like lifestyle choices or all of those things, you can deal with it now or you can deal with it later. Like if you want to eat poorly and make bad lifestyle choices and not take your health seriously or be active, like those things all add up at some point.
There's a really good quote. I'm going to see if I can
Or
find it.
in his case, add up at a rate of 0.57 only. And now I'm curious to see, like, I'm certain I'm not aging at a rate of 0.57, but I'm like, just for shits, it would be curious to see what rate I am. Did it make you curious after watching that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it'd be really interesting to know this kind of stuff, but I also fully acknowledge that having ADHD means that the slightest barriers to doing something mean it's not happening. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to get blood work. I'm not buying any of this shit. I can barely manage my current lifestyle. I don't know how to make lifestyle changes.
Unless you like, what's the word? Like deep dove on any of these concepts and just like your
that would last for 2
hyperfixation.
weeks.
Yeah, your ADHD hyperfixation for 2 weeks would be like mega health, and you'd be like, yes.
So I don't know who Jim Rohn is. I'm just going to Google this, but American entrepreneur and author. Okay. He writes, everyone must choose one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Which is a beautiful way to encapsulate what you were just saying. But this one I think is more appropriate because it talks about everything. Marriage is hard, divorce is hard, choose your hard. Obesity is hard, being fit is hard, choose your hard. Being in debt is hard, being financially disciplined is hard, choose your hard. Communication is hard, not communicating is hard, choose your hard. Life will never be easy, it will always be hard, but we can choose our hard.
And Bryan Johnson chooses a 3.5-hour hard.
An 18-year-old hard. Good for him. Like,
full circle.
This is awesome. Yeah, get hard or choose your hard. I don't know. This is tough now.
No, it has to be get hard now.
Get hard.
Yeah, it has to be.
We can't put 18-year-old in the title anywhere, though. We'll get in trouble.
We cannot put it. No, yeah.
But it's exactly what you were saying. Like, everything is a cost. I got a friend that says there's no free chicken. Everything's a trade-off.
Oh.
You're not going to get anything for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to pay for it somehow.
Yeah.
And I think most of us are living in a world where we're not in control of what we're paying for, and we're not aware of the price it's costing us.
Yes.
And I think what Bryan is doing is living for his future self. I've seen a lot of people say stuff like, you know, if you can't do it now, like just think about future Jenna or future Colin, and do this like you like you know, if Cassie went to the hospital and she got some sort of fucking diagnosis and it means that we got to change things in order for her life to get better or whatever, would you do? Well, of course, and we would do that. Well, now do that for yourself. Love yourself the way you'd love someone else,
right?
And make the right decisions for them. It's just, I think we mentioned it a bunch of times in the episode. It's really hard to take a step back from everything that's happening all the time, and make these decisions,
and really see it for what it is.
Yeah, because it's not that serious. We just want everything to be serious because we've placed value where it doesn't belong.
Yeah.
We let other people tell us what's important instead of deciding for ourselves.
But I think this fellow, Bryan, has
Fucking
been...
Bryan.
Fucking Bryan. He's been quite good at making his own personal decisions and, like, sticking to them.
My God. So for sleep, he's got a blacked out room.
Yep.
He's got static clean, total blackout window, privacy room darkening tint.
Okay.
Again, linked to Amazon. Bed temperature controlled by using 8 Sleep. Now, I looked at 8 Sleep because this was on the Ultimate Human podcast. Gary Brecka talks about this a lot.
Okay.
And it's this fucking really cool sheet hub thing that controls the temperature of your bed based off of your body temperature. But
so would this kind of be like an advanced version of the heated blanket?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Also, did you ever have a heated blanket as a child?
No. We had the hot water bottles.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cheapest version of this thing is $3,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he also uses grounded sheets.
Is it because
15 feet? It comes with cords. It's a conductive earthing bed sheet for better sleep and EMF, like EMF protection.
Okay.
Memory foam fucking pillow. And 2 air filters. That seems like a lot.
Super fresh air. It's crisp AF.
$500 each, no big deal. Fuck me.
Yeah. I remember looking into air purifiers, and like the cheapest one I could find was $350, and I was like, nope, sorry.
It's so sad too, because you spend so much, presumably you spend so much of your time sleeping. It's a worthy investment.
Yeah.
It's so hard to...
The upfront cost just seems astronomical for a small, and it's like, it
wasn't
even a large device. Yeah, yeah. I will just breathe less clear air, I guess, clean air.
Yeah, air quality is something I would like to do more of in the house, but like, I don't know.
Also, as long as we have a pet, I feel like indoor air quality is a bit moo.
I think so. And honestly, if you were doing what he's doing, you'd fucking get rid of the pet.
Right, because she would be severely... Oh, no. I bet he doesn't have pets.
Oh, my God. He starts his wind down time before bed at 7 p.m.
An hour and a half.
Almost free at 7 p.m. So he likes to hang out with his son, read, talk, etc. He avoids screens or anything that gets you stressed.
Yep.
So we got to get rid of the kids,
that is
too.
A good thing. Throw them out.
Avoid alcohol and stimulants. Avoid blue light. He uses blue light blocking glasses and blue light blocking features on devices if you are looking at screens. I'm surprised he didn't link to his blue light blocking glasses.
Bryan, where's the link for the glasses?
Blue light glasses.
So, like, I bought these a while.
They're only $130 fucking dollars. God.
I used to wear them on the pod, right? But they're blue light blocking. But I don't know. They must not be very good, because I don't know if I felt a difference, to be honest.
Who knows, right?
Yeah,
and are you wearing them all the time?
Right. And, my job isn't on a screen all day, but a lot of people it is. And so it's kind of like, well, are you going to wear them all day like that or not? Like, I don't know. You can't. Obviously you can. It's probably not a big deal, but like.
And I see like a lot of people on social media now. Not a lot. I see enough people that are in this sort of health space, mental or physical, kind of wearing these things.
Yes.
But I imagine too, it's got to be part of a more holistic protocol. You can't just say I'm wearing blue light blocking glasses and then notice benefits. Are you avoiding screens before bed? Are you? Right. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't
There's
know
probably a
how to
bigger picture
articulate.
thing happening.
Oh man, these things are only 90 US. We should get some.
Ooh,
These should be
yeah.
our like uniform for the
Our uniform for the pod.
cast. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be, and then those would be like part of our logo, just the shades. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
I was gonna get into a conversation about meal prep, but maybe it's too late. But perhaps for next episode we could definitely discuss. Because I have at times sort of dived into doing meal prep, and I understand that it's very beneficial in so many ways. Um, but kind of what we were saying, like it's a lifestyle change. Um, did they at any point, and maybe this wasn't the point of the doc that you watched at all, but did they discuss just like quick tips or some ways that you can like start this process for yourself? Um, or not? Was it just
The
like
meal prep
your
thing?
not meal prep specific,
Okay.
sorry, but just like any of like the health things that he's doing or part of? Did they offer any entry level applications or methods?
I will go to the main page.
Mm-hmm.
Rules of this subreddit.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, do not die.
Okay.
Sweet. They don't really.
Tough.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know if I could
Yeah.
follow that. This is not a drama sub, no self-promotion, no political discussion. It doesn't, I mean, it links to his Blueprint website, which would be that.
Okay. Yep. But I assume that that's fairly lengthy. Like he's got a lot of info.
It's a fucking, so almost everything I mentioned came from that website. All the numbers, most of his protocols, all of his biomarkers, they're all up there, and he updates them regularly.
Okay.
But yeah, there's nothing like you know when you go to like keto or whatever, they always have like, hey, here's a one pager to get you going kind of thing. He has his daily routine, and then he breaks down his daily routine, and that's basically it. It includes what he's eating, what he's supplementing, how he's exercising, and in what order, and what devices and tools he uses in and around his lifestyle, which is wild. Getting up at 4:30, it makes me physically ill.
I feel
To think about waking up at that time.
Of 4:30.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I feel like that's a great spot to end, though.
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
I
Bryan
will
Johnson.
once again hit you with the giveaway. Eternus by Leroy Akiki.
Remind our listeners.
A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose by Eckhart Tolle, which, if we've not convinced you, is probably a useful book in this episode. Let me know, and I will try harder in the next episode, which is when we will be announcing our winner. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Winner, yes. Next ep. And I wanted to say, like, that book, I don't want to sound dramatic, but it changed my life. I read it at a very pivotal time, and I could have just like continued going down the unrighteous path, to quote my friend Samuel Jackson. But my friend, I wish. But like I read it and I was like, this just seems, it felt like you were reading, ways to live a little bit, more or less. Like that's kind of what philosophy is. Ways to live that come across as like quite organic and adoptable.
Right.
Like it was in the way that, you were saying like Bryan's methods and whatnot are maybe so extreme that it's hard to like just do a quick one pager to how to get into this lifestyle. I feel like the book, low barrier,
Yeah. low cost of
ado-
entry. Yeah,
yeah, you can get in and adopt those things, and he makes it so clear on like how you could do this in everyday life. So it's very accessible. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think anyway, I'll leave that for next time.
Okay.
Any last words?
Just toodles.
All right. Thanks everyone for coming out. We really appreciate it, and we will let you know who wins next week.
Excellent. Toodles.